Hello, New Wave of British Heavy Metal.com here today. It's the 24th of January 2024. Quick favour please, and that's if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, that'd be great, big help, so please do click the button if you would. Today, Avenger, remember Avenger from the old days? And a box set that just came out a few days ago, which comprises of their two albums from the good old new wave of British heavy metal days in the mid-1980s. And also there's a disc of them in a live performance when they were in America, touring in America in 1986. So quite the package, all tasty stuff. You know, as well as the two albums, there's a bunch of demos and bonus tracks and an informative booklet. So it's excellent package to remember a new wave of British heavy metal era band that really had all the talent, but none of the breaks, unfortunately. Formed in 1982, I think it was, by Brian Ross and Nick Moore after their previous band, another Nawabban band, Blitzkrieg, split, though they'd later reform. And being from Newcastle, Avenger were, Newcastle back then, of course, was one of the strongholds, if you like, of the Nawabban scene. And Avenger was signed by the local label Neat, who were themselves known for signing many an aspiring new wave of British heavy metal band back then, weren't there? There's a long list that were on Neat records. There was something of an early vocalist swap, if you like. Ross, soon left to join Satan, if you remember them, and Ian Swift came in the opposite direction from Satan. And also another early lineup change was the introduction of a second guitarist. And then Avenger would record a debut album, Bloodsports, which was released in 1984. Pretty damn good it is too. Full of shortish to the point songs, hard, heavy, big riffs, no messing about, and some quite spectacular soloing going on as well. Proper new wave of British heavy metal, but there's some finesse built in there rather than it being crank it up to 11 and play as loud as fast as possible. Bit more refined than that. Take for example, Enforcer, You'll Never Take Me Alive, Victims of Force, Too Wild to Tame, all enjoyable, hard hitting numbers. NOTJ, I don't know what that stands for. If you do, let me know. That's a fun one with a variation of a thumping bass line alternating with big riffs and a sort of a staggered vocal. And then, to show they could do different stuff as well, Warfare, slightly more slower and a bit more brooding, but all good stuff. Promising debut album, but unfortunately, Bloodsports was let down somewhat by a poor production job. To my way of listening to it, the drums are way too up in the mix and coming over as rather overpowering. The vocals are way too down and too muddy and inaudible at times. You can't make out the words. The guitars and bass is somewhat raw as well. But that said, it's a fine album. There's plenty to enjoy if you can get past that dodgy mixing job. Then, in short order, eventually came out with a second album the following year, 1985, Killer Elite. More lineup changes. In came guitarist Greg Reiter, after being recruited by an advert that he placed in Sounds. Remember Sounds? Weekly ritual that was, wasn't it? Reading Sounds. Anyway, Killer Elite, definite step up in all departments from Bloodsports. In particular, the blazing guitar works and a much better, clear, big production job. An album of big numbers, generally on the fast side, and to me, again, Killer Elite's as good, if not better, than anything any of Avengers contemporaries were doing at the time. Proper, full-on heavy metal album. What we got, like Revenge Attack, Run for Your Life, Brand of Torture, all pack a big knockout punch. Steel on Steel, that's got more of that variation and change of pace that they could build in as well. Hard Times, Under the Hammer, huge, powerful numbers, and every riffing keeps on coming. Yesterday's Heroes, I think, is the outstanding track on an outstanding album. So varied, emotional, atmospheric, hard, varied, phenomenal stuff. Killer Elite should really have put Avenger well on the road to the big time, but Alas, it didn't, and they'd split after some dates in America. You know, the usual reasons, you know, lack of record company support and all the rest of it. And that third disc here of that Brooklyn date back in '86, that's a good listen too. And such a shame that they didn't go on. But you know, there's happens to many a band, doesn't it? All the talent, not the breaks. However, now we can enjoy what Avenger had to offer back then, thanks to Cherry Red, the always reliable Cherry Red Records doing what they do so well with box sets like this. And often these box sets, as we've got here, rediscovering good old new wave of British heavy metal era bands that were damn good. In fact, Mama's Boys one's due in a couple of days, so we'll look at that shortly. But you know, in another video. But anyway, back to Avenger. You know, both albums, the live performance, comprehensive booklet with the history of the band and all sorts of photographs and whatnot. Top package. Really good, classic new wave of British heavy metal era stuff. And again, you know, Avenger had the chops, but not the breaks. But this excellent box set is a testament to, you know, what a band they were back then. So that's Avenger, Steel on Steel, the complete Avenger recordings, box set via Cherry Red. I will put a link to it on Amazon in the description box below, so you can go and get one there. It's quite reasonably priced as well for what it is. I enjoy it tremendously. Perhaps you will too. Please subscribe to the channel before you go. That would be marvellous. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.